Hey, werewolves, mummies, and witches. It's spooky season.
Spooky time.
In today's episode, we chatted with Erin Lee, former radio DJ turned professional psychic medium. We talked about her road to mediumship, creating energetic boundaries, and the surprisingly simple ways you can protect and ground your energy without getting lost in ritual overload. I'm Lauren Leon.
And I'm Casey Gasem. You like that? You like that one?
Yes. We are a married couple learning how to develop our own intuition. And this is episode 89 of Clairvoyaging. Wayfeather Media presents Clairvoyaging. Puppies.
How are we?
Little angel puppies. That's what I call my kids.
You did it again. I don't know how you do it every single time. You guys, you're beautiful.
You're
guys, beautiful people.
You are gorgeous.
You're stunning. Is the Met Gala here?
What is happening?
No, it's not. You just look like this all the time. You woke up like this.
Your aura is shining and glowing like the moon.
It's like glitter.
What the heck?
Well,
okay. Well, now that I'm energized by our listeners and viewers, Frank, do you have any updates to share?
I have a little update.
I feel like Frank has a little update.
Hey guys, if you go to clairvoyaging.com right now, you can actually book me for a Reiki session.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
You can. And let me throw something out real quick though.
Go on.
You might notice by my personality that I'm probably not going to Reiki the normal way.
He's got his own style, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And listen, like the actual Reiki element of it really does resemble like Reiki, right? But what I do integrate into my Reiki is a little bit of like discussion integration. So you and I will kind of have a little chat. We'll do a body scan. We'll do a little bit of chat just to talk about what we're feeling and stuff like that. And then the rest is just normal Reiki. So you chill, but with that conversation in mind.
You also have some interesting additional options. One of which is like, if you have a family in your home that you want to just have a group Reiki session for, like, that's cool. He'll do a group Reiki or like, I don't know.
Yeah. Listen,
how's your office?
How
open are they to group Reiki?
True. My big thing is always going to be like, if, I don't know, I don't want pricing to be a barrier of any kind. So if you're like, hey, I can't afford like a session, which happens, it's fine. And you want to have if you want to have 50 people over into your house and you buy a group session, I'll do the group session, guys.
Wow.
So you split the cost, split the cost between the pals.
Splitsies.
Okay? I don't mind.
Go halvesies.
Go for it. Hey,
go 50 to 1.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of fractions in there. I have some other stuff. Oh, here's a fun one. If you are a performer of any kind, whether that's like you're in a band or you have a keynote speech to give or something, I do what I call it Showtime Reiki. How about that?
Oh.
If you want active Reiki during your presentation, you don't have to come online, or you can send me a live stream link. I'll watch you. You get Reiki during that thing. You got Frank's in your corner during that period. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool.
You don't even have to log into anything. Just receive. That's cool.
But I'm behind the scenes and I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited by that one. I think that's cool. Of all the performances that we've had and like going into things with like that, like insecurity of like, oh no, now I have to be on stage.
If you knew someone was giving you Reiki the entire time, you'd be like, I am supported and taken care of.
I don't know. There's something there. I feel very excited about that one. And then I'll send you a recording, obviously, of me doing it.
And where can everyone go again?
Go to clairvoyaging.com, guys. There's a new, it's going to be a services tab right now. I think it says Reiki and coaching. Yeah. Go up there. Soon, Lauren might have a little bit of a little thing to present to you.
Soon. We're working on it. Behind the scenes.
It's going to be good.
Well, I think it's just about time to get to our interview. Sweet Erin, we really vibed with her immediately.
Ooh, talk about instant friend.
Just off the bat, like it's a good chat.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you to hear from her and hear some of her tips because it's good.
you're gonna be friends with her too.
Yeah. You're gonna like it.
You're gonna like it.
You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Please enjoy. Erin, so nice to meet you. Already, we're like excited to talk to you. Can you give us the goods on your backstory, and we can start there?
It was actually like middle school when I started kind of realizing that other kids my age could not see dead people. So that's kind of like how it started. You kind of like have this moment of clarity where you're like, oh, so that wasn't like, that's not normal for you. Cool. Like, that's good to know. So my parents were looking for a house. They were, middle class, looking to buy their first home. And we were house hunting, and they were dragging me along, as one will do when you're 11. I was in middle school. Mm-hmm. And I had one house that we went into, I had a premonition that someone had passed in the house. And to me, this is very like, again, like being little, not really knowing, but also knowing, and being like, oh, this is just normal for me. Like, seeing people pass through and spirits. And then I saw, like there was a shotgun under the couch, and I was like, well, that validates that something went down here. And, this was the 90s. There was not a time to, look things up on the internet and find out if something had happened in this house. So I never got true validation, but, certainly the way that I felt, and for as little as I was, I begged my parents not to buy that house, and we ended up getting a different one. So they did listen.
Okay. Yeah.
But, it was little like bits and pieces that I was getting fed through my teenage years, where I would be in an antique store and see my reflection in the mirror, but it was me, but it was not me. Or
I just got chills from that.
Yeah, like things that were premonition. Like I'd get in the car and put the key in the ignition and go, oh, it's AC/DC, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And then the radio would come on, and it was literally AC/DC, Dirty Deeds Done Cheap. And I'm like, okay, well, like it was the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't, when you're young or you're a teenager, you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't have anyone. I now have a teenager myself who, when he comes to me with stuff like this, I'm like, oh yeah, so this is what you do, XYZ. So it's a whole, I didn't have anyone to guide me. So I was kind of like flying blind through those early years. And I had a whole other career. I was a radio DJ professionally for 20 years before I became a full-time psychic medium. COVID hit, and they sent everyone home, and they brought almost nobody back, and it changed the entire landscape of entertainment.
Oh, wow.
And I had already been doing this work part-time since I got Reiki attuned in 2015, but I'd been pulling cards and stuff since like 2012. And, it just kind of became like a natural progression for me to start taking on clients full time and make this my business. I had been kind of like slowly crawling towards it for a while, but I'm so passionate about music that it was hard for me to make the full leap until universe said, Shove, we're doing it for you.
Yeah. Oh my God. First of all, you do have a great radio voice.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool. So your parents, they didn't have any, and still don't, like they don't have any psychic tendencies?
No. Nope, not at all.
How did they react to yours?
Yeah.
So super supportive. Like my dad's a very practical guy. He's a Taurus like me, so he's very grounded, like show me the proof kind of person. But there comes a point where like skepticism is healthy. I welcome it. Again, like as a Taurus myself, I'm like, I want some kind of concrete evidence also. But it gets to the point where like you can't deny it anymore when I'm telling you things and then they come to pass. It's like, so but my mom was always, some dabbled in spirituality and astrology and things like that. So it wasn't like completely foreign or like out of the question, but neither of them are gifted. And I have family members on my mom's side who are also intuitive or gifted as well, but don't do it professionally like I do.
I don't know. It's always nice to hear a story of like, the parents are like, great. We're going to support you. And like, maybe a little like, oh, this is weird, but not like shutting you down. And
no, like and my grandparents too, like, and I mean, you're talking about an older generation and they've since passed, but like even, my grandmother, it's actually the anniversary of her passing today. Funny enough, I just thought of it. But
Wow.
my grandmother was and she Sagittarius, funny enough, like you guys.
Hey.
So even coming from that older generation, she was like, oh yeah, like that's, cool. I'm open to it. You want to draw some cards for me? Let's do this. Like, so, I'm very thankful that my family wasn't like, okay, weirdo. Like, yeah, that's true still. But, my dad was like, but, we paid for a degree for you when you went to college. And like, that's the practical Taurus, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm still doing stuff in music. So like, does that count? Like, can I do both? Can I have both? So
you got into music, the DJing, and where was the like, even just doing part-time like mediumship and taking clients and stuff, like what was the impetus to like move forward with that? Was it just like, I think I'll do this, I'm sensing it anyway?
So there was just a part of it was like meeting people like along my path that were like, it becomes like I said before, like undeniable that this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So I made friends with a woman who her aunt is a Reiki master, and she was a Reiki too when I met her. And I had kind of already been hearing about it and interested in getting attuned myself. And then I met these people and I was like, oh, I was supposed to meet you to learn. Like it becomes evident, like kind of like on your path, like when people, when you meet people or when you kind of like interact with people, like, oh, this is the moment I was waiting for, or like, this is the door that needed to open before I could take the next step.
Yeah.
And, even working in radio, like I would be in the studio, by myself recording something to that would play on air later. And I'd just be standing there, like doing my show prep or kind of whatever. And I would hear my guides. I'm clairaudient primarily. So I would hear like a message to check on someone. And it was people I worked with at the radio station. So I'm checking on people and then finding out that they have stuff going on. There was someone on a particular day that I work with that our families have kids around the same age and they played together and whatever. And I noticed he wasn't in the office that day. And he was in sales, so that's not unusual for them to kind of be out and about, like meeting with other clients and whatever. But I was like, I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm just checking on you. Haven't seen you today. I felt pushed to like just see how you're doing. And he's like, I'm literally standing on the side of the road. I just had a car accident. And I said, oh my God. I was like, so I said, was it around this time? And he goes, yeah, like within 5 or 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, because I first started hearing that I needed to check on you. And again, working in entertainment, a lot of people are already inclined to spirituality or inclined to astrology and things of that nature anyway. So it's not weird for me to text people that already knew that I leaned in that direction as it is.
Yeah.
So, but it's like feeling out like who's going to be cool with me checking on them and being like, hey, like I heard to see how you were doing. So, when it becomes like, when you're constantly getting hit with messages like this, or, check in with your people or whatever the case may be, it gets to the point where you're like, I need to be doing this. Like, it's very clear that it's not a hobby any longer, or it's not something to do casually. It's my life's work or my calling.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of, hold on. So you're saying primarily clairaudient and you were a radio DJ. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, were you, was there ever like a time when you were like listening to your playlist and you're like, hey coworker, you know what my favorite lyric of the song, when Freddie Mercury goes, help me, please help me, you're the only one that can hear me. Did you ever experience that?
That happens every single time she's listening to the same Freddie Mercury song.
So there's definitely a degree of like catching messages in the music for sure.
Yeah.
And there's also a degree of like, having worked in radio, meeting artists directly, like on this plane of existence, not that it passed, just right. For clarity.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a level of understanding that you have as a psychic or intuitive person that it's like, here's the interaction I'm having face to face with you. And then here's kind of what I'm receiving intuitively or in the background. And I try to like not be on at all times. Like I have the ability, not all psychics do, to flip the switch on and off. Like some people
Yeah.
are open and receiving information at all times. Whereas I have really good energetic boundaries where I'm like, we're not doing this right now. Like I'm just being a human being. Like I don't need to be open or on at all times and receiving messages about your dead grandma, like at Publix or whatever. So, it's like, so
Wait,
it, you know, it's,
did you
it's
do like,
definitely-
oh,
sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
Did you do, did you find like a mentor or a teacher or something like as far as mediumship, like to develop that and to get to turning off your switch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, technically it started with John Edward, watching John Edward on television.
Oh, right.
What a
Yeah.
cool
So,
dude.
yeah, amazing. And like super like direct communicator, which I'm a direct communicator too. So I appreciate that style.
Wait, can you explain what that is?
What direct communication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you don't use like flowery words, or you don't like when you direct communicate, it's like I'm telling you exactly like it is. I'm not like softening it or sugarcoating it. Like I'm giving you direct information without all of the fluff.
Okay.
So, and that's not exclusive to being psychic. That's just how I communicate in general.
Sure. Yeah.
So
like you're not filtering it through, you're not being like too gentle with like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I find, the longer I do this, I find that some people do need a softer approach, and that's fine. But I'm never going to like tell you, oh, you're going to find the love of your life next week if that's not in the cards for you. Like I try to be grounded and practical in the information that I give when I'm communicating during a reading. And that's, like I said, goes back to why I liked John Edward so much, because I saw him giving very clear and direct information, and there's no like, flowery, fluffy stuff going on. He's very like rapid fire the way he reads. And I was a teenager watching him on television. Crossing over was big when I was a kid.
yeah.
And then, subsequently I met people through a class that I took online on Zoom through Thomas John, who's also a fairly renowned psychic medium on a national level.
Oh.
And we took a class with Thomas, and then several of the people who were students of his, this was during lockdown when everything was on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
We formed like a group chat, and I joke about this a lot because there's only so many people that you can message the group chat and like take a picture and be like, hey, what do you see in the corner over here in my room? or like, oh, your aunt wants to say hi for a minute, who passed away, 25 years ago.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So, I made some friends and mentors through things like that. And then also, like on a local level, I've had the pleasure of working with some people that I really do feel that we're always learning from each other. Like we all can stand to learn things from each other. I don't see it as like teacher and student. I see us all as students of one another.
Yeah. Listen, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like you just talked about this recently.
I talk I talk about it nonstop.
Yeah.
It very much feels like, everyone, we asked this question at the very beginning when we first started the podcast of like, I keep hearing like a lot of very intuitive people are talking about how they feel like the world is shifting in a direction. Like, what do you think it's shifting to? And you get a lot of weird answers because, there's and I've come to understand like the energy of what you're feeling doesn't quite necessarily translate to like how things 3D manifest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, in the future, everything's going to be light and flowy and we're all going to have mutual respect. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But also that's not how things always pan out.
Right.
But if there's a bigger push towards that, like that's a cool thing. That's going to manifest it differently, democracy or whatever. You saying that like really pushes me towards like the thing that I'm always trying to wrap my head around of that. Like, I really feel like the model when it comes to learning or any space like this, that the hierarchy of teacher master, or I'm sorry, of master student is kind of going away.
Yeah.
Because the role of master is starting to feel a little like unbalanced, egotistical.
Yes.
And also like that level of control is something that we need to eliminate. at this
Could not agree more. Yeah.
So I love that. And it's also difficult because when you are a practitioner like you are, like, oh, you are in a position of power over the person that's like hiring you, but also like it's 100% your responsibility to make sure that the playing field is level and that you have a mutual respect for that person. So
yeah. And all my clients, yeah, no, like you're spot on. Everything you're saying is spot on. And I totally agree with you. Like all of my clients, they're my contemporaries. A lot of them are give or take 10 years on either side of, I'm 44. So it's, people
we
in their
are
30s.
Similar age. I turned 44 in 2 months.
Hey.
You called it. It's like you're psychic or something.
Right? Well, and you guys had like the one, you made a Sublime reference on one of the podcast episodes. And I was like, oh, clearly like we have to be a similar age. So
I don't remember that. Yeah, that sounds right.
We all practice Santeria. I remember it. Yes, that's the title of the episode.
So, to me, like, these are my contemporaries. These are people that are within my same age group or even generation. So I don't feel, and also like, we all have ego to a degree. That's human nature. I don't feel like it's correct or responsible to be like, oh, we need to remove ego. No, like that's part of the human experience.
Right.
And like you said, we have a responsibility in how we check it and manage it. But to me, like, a lot of the people that I work with come to find out they're gifted themselves, usually with help from me. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, you didn't know? Like, we could work on this, like, whenever you want to talk. Like,
yeah,
that's cool.
But so like, to me, I'm working with people that are just not as far down the path as I am. And I love being a teacher, but also it's just sharing my experience or sharing my knowledge. And I feel like in this lifetime or in this incarnation of myself, and we could go down a whole rabbit hole with this, so I'll try to keep it brief. But in this incarnation of myself, I'm here this time to have as many life experiences as possible to be able to assist people through their challenges as well. I've had a lot of hardship in my life and a lot of different, like, really just bad life experiences. And I mean, there's something to take from everything, correct? But also it's like when I have a client who, I was in an abusive relationship, so I've experienced domestic violence. I have a child with a chronic illness, so I have the experience of going through that. I just like so many different life experiences that I feel like this lifetime is for me to guide others so that next time I come back, I can be a spirit guide instead of in the vessel, in the human form, basically.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Wait, what's your, do you do human design? Do you know your human design?
I did it, but I don't remember what it is. Yeah.
I'm just curious if you're if you have a similar number in the profile as I do, because it's like a trial and error thing where you're meant to experience a lot of things and then use those hardships or trauma or whatever to give your wisdom to other and like help them through it.
That's cool. Now I'm going to have to go back and check after we're done talking.
We still haven't had a human design person on to talk about it. We've been talking about it for like a year.
I know.
We're not pros. We're just like fangirls. And
that's fair.
Having like, yeah, it's very cool. I have a bunch of apps on my phone. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Cool. But yeah.
Wait, I just going back to how do you know when someone, are you hearing from their spirit team that like they have abilities, like you said? Like how's that information come? Because I feel like I've heard that a lot where people are like, oh, a psychic told me.
Yeah, it's definitely. So anytime I'm doing a reading with anyone, it's a collaboration between my team and their team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and sometimes I'm taking the time to differentiate who I'm communicating with. And sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to listen and whatever comes through. And I'm not like, oh, is this your person or your person?
Yeah.
Your spirit or my spirit. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take the information and give it to you as it comes through. And we're not going to try to overanalyze it unless we're doing a spirit guide reading specifically. But to me, like there tends to be either like a deep down knowing, like when I meet someone, it's like, oh, well, I see my reflection in you, or vice versa. There tends to be like sometimes I'm communicated with through their guides, but sometimes it's like I just intuitively feel like, oh, clearly you must have some kind of gift as well. And it ends up being, I mean, 9 times out of 10, like no exaggeration, almost all my clients have some kind of ability. And I have clients from all over the country.
That's so interesting.
I mean,
it's like something's kind of like sparking them to go push for more.
Yeah.
And you're like, you actually don't need me. But
yeah, like I'm happy to facilitate, but also like you have some stuff going on there that inherently is yours.
Yeah.
It's funny because over the course of like this podcast, like we are always talking about how like everyone, like I have marketing material that says you are psychic, like, because it applies to anybody, right? It's just a matter of like how much you are attuned to it. And by attuned, I don't mean in the Reiki sense. I mean, and like I tuned into it.
Sure.
And it's actually a question I wanted to ask you about, like your past. You like were in middle school seeing dead people, right?
Yeah.
And at one point were you like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
like
literally,
that's not everyone's experience, you know?
Yeah. And also like I did know, I guess, like on some level that you can't just like go around and ask other little kids. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this was like my guides protecting me from that, but I mean, I was always like the little weirdo kid. Like, I mean, from day one, like I was the weirdo kid. Like, and I knew that I was the weirdo kid. Like, I figured out a way to channel it and make it performance. So, and I mean, that's part of being a Leo rising too. Like, I can't, like, the spotlight is me, whether I want it or not. So. But like, there was this like understanding of like, oh, this is not like polite society to like go around talking about being able to talk to dead people. Like, I guess it's part of it is the way you're raised. Part of it is the time that I grew up in. I think it's kind of like a mix of a few different things, but I knew like at first I was like, oh, well, this is just like you said, it's like, oh, this is my normal, or like, this is normal to me. But then when I started kind of like looking around and I'm like, oh, other people are not having the same experience that I'm having. And I can't like, then you go like, you're kind of like whispering at people like, hey, like, is this you too? Like, do you like, is that person like over there in the corner? Like, and it's funny too, because as a fully developed, like in tune with my gifts now and intentional and purposeful with it, psychic at this stage, I don't typically have people in the room with me, so to speak. For the most part, it's like watching it on TV.
Okay.
So every now and again, someone that has a very strong presence shows up at my house. But like for the most part, it's very like I'm almost like remote viewing, but like remote viewing memories. So like if I was doing a reading for you and I was looking for someone that you have in spirit that's passed, I would be looking at it from either the time that they were living or maybe a time that was significant or important to them. So
okay, yeah,
and I'm watching it as it looked then. So if I was looking at the 1970s, everything would be like that brown, orange, and green.
Yeah.
And I'm viewing it almost like the way that you look at like the old pictures that have just like the amber tones to them. So like I'm seeing it more like I'm watching TV or a movie than actually having people like physically come stand in the room with me. But that's also a boundary that I learned, kind of like how we talked about before, that it's like you don't have to physically be standing next to me for us to communicate.
So when did you start learning your boundaries? Like, were you in middle school? Like, all right, I gotta work, I gotta learn. Or was it after that? Like,
also, I'm gonna tag on to that.
Sure.
At any point was it just your normal, or were you shocked or afraid at any point? Because that could be a lot.
I was not afraid, and I guess I never even considered that I should have been. I know, like I'm air quoting a lot, but there's like some things that it's like there's like, God, I guess like in retrospect, maybe I should have been, but I never was.
Yeah.
And maybe that was like having a really strong spirit team to begin with. Or maybe it was kind of like always having an understanding, at least on whatever level I could for the age and stage I was at.
Sure.
It was definitely not middle school when I learned boundaries. It was much later, probably like late 20s, early 30s before I really started going, okay, you guys can't like just show up anytime. Or like you can't wake me up in the middle of the night. I value my sleep. So but I tell people that are early on in their journey also that, because they'll give me that, oh my God, I woke up between 3 and 4 in the morning. And that's very common when you're first starting out. And I'm like, okay, so here's what you do. If you get woken up by someone in the middle of the night, you say, thanks for reaching out. I really want to communicate with you, or I really want to develop my intuition, or however those words look to you. But I promise to set an appointment with you for tomorrow. We'll talk at 4 p.m., not 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And it works. And it's something that I learned through a contemporary or a colleague of mine, like set the appointment for the next day. But then you have to follow through with it. You can't just say, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and then not do it. Because then they come back again at 3 a.m. and they're like, hey, like we never talked.
Are you still billing me for that time? Or
right. So yeah, like I wasn't scared. There were times where it was a little unnerving or a little strange, because, and I mean, this is still true even as deep in terms of like my level of experience now. There's times where I'm like, it catches me off guard, or I'm not really expecting it.
Yeah.
I was telling, I did a reading literally right before I jumped on with you guys. And I was telling my client about how yesterday I was sitting and having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she and I were just like chatting and bouncing off of each other. And this is a friend of mine who has gotten readings from me, but we were just having a normal friend conversation yesterday. And she was saying something, and I was hearing the words before she was saying them. And I wasn't purposefully tuned in. I wasn't like trying to read her, like none of that. We were just like casually talking. And I went and like, I looked at her and I was like, I heard that word before you said it. Like I knew you were going to use that specific word. And it's the kind of thing where like, I guess trying to keep like a level of like curiosity, or a level of whimsy, or a level of however you want to describe this, even when you have as much experience as a psychic medium as I have, there's still things that I'm like, oh, it's neat that I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be like, that was cool.
Right. Well, and also it's great too, like when somebody comes back and validates you and they're like, so the thing that you said was going to happen. And you're like, oh, it did? Like, of course it did. I'm psychic. Like, that's my job. But also like, oh, it actually did, because sometimes you will read people and never hear from them again. And other times you have people that consistently get readings with you weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, whatever the case may be. But sometimes I will not hear from someone for a year or more, and they'll come back and message me and be like, so I got married, now I'm pregnant, like everything that you saw for me. And I'm like, like everything at once. I'm like, damn, okay. Like,
that's
I was waiting to give you the validation when I had everything in a row. And I'm like, I'm not mad at that. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's cool. I was thinking of when you're saying you were hearing the words before your friend was saying them. And again, with the radio DJ thing, when you talk to someone and you take listener calls, and they have their radio on too loud, and there's like there's a delay, and you hear. I was like, oh man, that's funny. That reminds me of that.
Yeah.
When you are seeing spirits, do you see them as alive or dead, or does it depend?
I see them as, so I will know that it's someone who has passed.
Okay.
But I see them looking as if they're alive. So It's not like, it's so funny because literally it's the 30th anniversary of Casper.
Yeah.
So we just watched Casper in the theater this past weekend. Me and my family went. And so it's not like nobody's transparent. Nobody's like in like monotone colors or anything like that. I intuitively know that they're no longer living, but they don't look like they're not living.
So when spirits are waking you up at night and needing something, or showing up when you're trying to make a cheese omelet and you didn't make enough for two.
Yeah.
What are your strategies for like setting energetic boundaries and grounding yourself and all that?
So it's funny because it comes back to what we talked about before, direct communication, right? So I used to be self-conscious, like, oh, it's kind of weird, like I'm talking to no one, quote unquote, like, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know that they're present and they're there, but it feels still weird to be verbalizing things out loud when there's you don't have a person standing literally physically in the room with you. I had to kind of teach myself to like get over that mental hurdle or that mental hump of like, I'm just going to say the thing because I know that you're receiving it. I have to get over the human side of saying things out loud to quote unquote, no one there, but there is someone there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There have been times where out of exasperation, I will be looking for something. One of my favorite stories to tell is I was in Dollar Tree and I was looking for a very specific candle. They had a line of chakra candles for a while. And
I think I saw those.
And I would bring them to my clients in person as a gift.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So I stopped by a Dollar Tree on my way to an appointment one day, and I was looking for a very specific chakra. And I scanned over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like looking at this shelf, and intuitively I felt like it was there, but visually I was not finding it. And finally I threw my hands up in the air and I said, guides, like literally out loud in the middle of the Dollar Tree, I'm like, just show me where it is. I'm like, please just show me where the candle is. I'm out of time. I need to go to my appointment. Like, I cannot stand here and like fool with this anymore. And it wasn't even that I got like a clear auditory answer. It was that I reached all the way to the back of the shelf directly in front of me, and there was that throat chakra candle the entire time. And
oh my gosh.
I said, thank you. Like literally I looked up, I did a wave like out loud again. And I'm like, I don't give a shit if I look crazy right now. Let people think whatever they want. I got the assistance that I was looking for. So being able
There's
to
some like little old lady with a shopping cart, like go down that aisle,
or like an acne riddled 16-year-old on the other aisle, like who handed it through. He's like, oh, you could have just asked sooner, miss. Sorry, I don't get paid enough.
I feel like getting over and like we talk about Gen Z a lot and the cringe thing, right? Like getting over the cringe of like what it's like or what it might look like or how I'm perceived or whatever. I think that again, like tying it back to being a radio personality for so long, like I don't give a shit what anyone thinks I look like or how I'm coming off or like whatever it is. I'm literally just trying to, I feel like when you communicate with your guides directly, clearly, that even if you're not auditorily receiving confirmation, they will reveal things to you in a way that needs to be revealed. Like I said, that day at Dollar Tree, I did not get, and remember, I'm primarily clairaudient, and I didn't even get auditory confirmation. I just went zoop, right to the spot, pulled it out like I should have done the entire time. It was crazy. It was literally like it hadn't been there and they placed it there. Because I swear to you, I went through every single candle in the entire shelf and then I just reached in and there it was. But the lesson was that I needed to ask directly and not be afraid of what it looked like or who was looking or how it might be perceived. So I feel like part of setting boundaries is communicating with your guides regularly enough that it's not weird or they're not hearing you for the first time. If you make it commonplace or you make it part of your routine or you make it normal, which normal is a relative term anyway. But if you make it part of your routine, it's not as unusual and they're more likely to be like, oh, you're asking us directly for assistance. Sure, we can help you. It's like, it's literally like part of being a human also, right? Like when we're like, oh, I've got this myself, like I don't need any help. And it's like we avoid asking. And if we would have just asked, we would have gotten the information or gotten what we needed so much sooner. But there's like pride or ego or whatever in the way of like, instead of just asking for the thing or asking directly, we go about it the long, hard way when we could have just asked.
Yeah.
So in the cheese omelet scenario, would you just say like, I need space, or like, please, like, give me this like kind of shield or whatever. Or like if you're going out, I know I've heard from some of our listeners are very empathic, and I've heard from them like it's hard for me to kind of protect myself out in public or whatever. What kind of advice do you have for that? Maybe like before going out and greeting the world.
So I feel like early on, before I knew how to do this for myself, I was retroactively doing it instead of proactively doing it. So I would get somewhere and be like, whoops, I forgot to shield. Because then it hits you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, here's everyone's everything all at once. Like, oh, I feel anxious now. And I know it's not my anxiety. It's, this person's anxiety and this person's stress and this person's upset. So I usually advise for people, if you have and a lot of people don't, I understand, like we're busy, we're adults, like lots of stuff going on as humans. If you have the ability before your feet hit the floor in the morning, shield yourself before you even get out of bed.
Oh.
Because that way you're starting your day already energetically protected.
Yeah.
Before, if you have like I have the ability working for myself and being freelance to lay in bed for as long as I want, do a meditation if I want, energetically protect myself if I want. I ease myself into my day. Not everyone has that ability. I tell people
I can't wait for older kids. God.
yeah, it's
Continue.
great. So I say, if you can't do it before your feet hit the floor and you're like a 9-to-5er type of person, or you're a commute type of person, do it on your commute. Put a hertz frequency from Spotify or YouTube on in the car. And obviously you can't like meditate or close your eyes because you're driving, but you can at least get into a better energetic space before you're out into the larger world where you're around a ton of people. And
so
instead
is there a specific hertz that you would recommend?
I would go with anything upper chakra. So third eye, crown, even throat, but mostly third eye and crown, because you're thinking about protecting this space from receiving. Yeah. And solar plexus would be good also, because that's your empathy center, so to speak. That's where you have your connection to others, is through your solar plexus. So I feel like it's the kind of thing where there's not necessarily a wrong answer. It's kind of intuitively choose what you feel like you need on any particular day.
I feel like if everything is intention, then like you can't do it wrong if you are just setting the intention of like protecting yourself or giving that energetic shield, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to say is to not strictly shield, but to filter. So to think of it as a filter instead, because when you're fully and completely shielding, you are blocking everything, positive and negative. So if you want to continue to receive positive input, you're thinking of it as a filter instead of a full-on shield. So I'm filtering negative from reaching me, but I'm still allowing positive to come in.
Do you have do you have like a mantra or something, or what is your mental state for creating a shield or a filter?
So I feel like it should be super simple. Like, I don't feel like you should say a ton of stuff. I usually just ask my guides for protection. I'll be like, I try to do gratitude first. So thank you for giving me these gifts. Thank you for giving me the ability to receive information psychically. Thank you for giving me the ability to help and heal others, to guide others. And then please keep me safe. Please keep me protected. Please, I try to make it like super simple, because it shouldn't be like, some people are very ritual, and it's funny that you mentioned like paganism earlier, because the entire reason I couldn't get into like true witchiness is because there's so much ritual behind it, and I'm very much
ritual.
I'm like, I'm never going to remember all this. Like, and some people are super good at it. Like, I have some friends that are like, oh, and you have to do your circle and you have to lay everything out, and I'm like, that's cool, and I love that for you, but I need like 30 seconds where I can list all my gratitude, thank my guides, ask for protection, and then go about my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
The deep ritualism of like the witchcraft is so it feels like work.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
again, I'm a Sagittarius. Some might say I'm allergic to work.
I mean, as a Taurus, hard to relate.
Yeah, I love the vibes, but like, you know, at the end of the day, after doing all the research that we have with the show and stuff, it's like, oh, that's salt and this and that. And I'm like, well, that's for intention, and salt is a crystal, so I got plenty of those already. It's like, you know, it's just witchcraft is a different brand of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's a very vibey brand.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, are you a post-metal band or are you emo? Because the difference is you're going to swoop your hair down in your face. It's a look. It's a vibe. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
If there's a like spell or something that has like more than 3 or 4 steps, I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. I feel like,
well, and again, I think that goes back to like, like the human experience thing that we were talking about before. Like, right at the end of the day, it's like we're parents, we're working, we're trying to like, you know, balance our personal life and our professional life and do all of these things. And sometimes you're like, damn, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do a whole ass ritual. Like, it's bedtime now.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, let me throw some rosemary and basil on a green candle and get some money coming my way and call it a day.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I like that.
Yeah. Super simple.
Rosemary and basil on a green candle. Okay, that I can do.
Yes.
Now you're speaking my language.
I have everything here. We're good.
Great.
And you can use the stuff that's in your cupboard. You don't have to like don't feel like, oh, I need to go to the witch store or the crystal store and get like basil is basil, rosemary is rosemary. Like, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to just ask you more about like some more of the grounding and shielding, because I want to run something by you that I found works for me, and I want to see having the limited amount of tangible. I'm more of an emotional intuitive. I don't have like the tangible stuff always, so I like to ask people like you, like, if this, do you have some confirmation that this is actually functional?
Okay.
I used to do a lot of shielding. I'm like, my shield sucks. my shield is more of a cheese grater, and it's just like, that's not doing it. Yeah. So something that I've found since I've learned more about Reiki is there's a grounding exercise where you are like calling in energy into your body. And I always say it's like filling up your body like an ice cube tray. You like let it fill you up, right? And then they also say, but pull energy up from the ground and have it meet in the heart. Yep. And then in the heart center, you then broadcast. And I found that I'm a better broadcaster of energy than I am a filter. So if I can like exude a positivity, it's more of like a more, to me, it feels like a more radiating, like
pushing it out.
Yeah. Or like pushing out like good vibes that are stronger than the bad vibes. And hopefully I can influence the people who are having those bad days around me, rather than trying to like, you know, put on a suit of armor. That
sounds completely logical to me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love that, actually. And it's funny that you mentioned also about like, drawing up from the earth, because you can also discharge back down. Right. So like if you feel like, oh, I'm stuck here or I'm stuck here, and you can visualize like sending it back or returning it back to the earth, that's a good way as well. Another thing is finding the element that you connect with. So you guys are both fire signs. So it would be candle gazing or building a bonfire or something like that that connects you to your element, that helps you feel grounded and cleared. So like when you, like for water signs, I find that almost all of them are like, oh, I'm going to the beach to clear my energy, or I'm going to take a shower and clear my energy. And earth signs are like, I'm literally just going to sit down right here on the ground. like my vibe is like, oh, there's some grass. Like, this is perfect. Like right here, or like, oh, there's a lovely little picnic table in the park and there's nothing else around it. I'm going to sit at the table and just put my feet down in the earth. And then air signs, it's using either like the breeze or using like smoke cleansing, like using Palo Santo or sage or something like that. So
this makes sense, because sometimes when I'm feeling big emotions, I want to throw myself into a fire.
utilizing your element is like, it really helps. And again, I feel like a lot of people do it and don't even realize that, like, or don't make the connection like, oh, I'm a fire sign, so I XYZ, or I'm an earth sign, so I ABC. Like, I feel like some people just do it and don't even realize they're doing it. But there's so many different ways that you can ground and clear yourself using elements that, and it's like everyday stuff. Like I said, drinking a glass of water, taking a shower, eating dark chocolate and sea salt together.
Yes, please.
I mean,
yeah, right.
That works for everybody. That works for everybody.
Universal sign.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of funny because since we've hit autumn, we whipped out our box of fall decorations, so all the candles came out, and I've been lighting them up every day. They're all. I have things lit behind me right here, and like yesterday, I forgot to light them because I got busy like immediately.
Yeah,
and like I felt a little dead inside. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So like today was literally the first thing I'm like, I gotta make the kids breakfast. Nope, candles first.
Yeah, it's part of your ritual. Yeah,
and it just makes it feel like our house is more alive, and like it fills my joy. It fills up my joy cup a little bit.
Yeah,
I love that.
And maybe that's because of little Sagittarius action.
Wait, this is funny because Jean, our daughter, is a Capricorn, and she keeps blowing out the candles.
Stop!
She's like, she's very sensitive to smell, so she's like, "Can I not smell that anymore?"
Go downstairs. Yeah.
Hold on, I have to blow this one out. Like that one doesn't even smell. Oh my God, we're just battling constantly.
That is funny.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say is if you want to try working directly with either archangels or elementals, or I go down the list and I'm like, spirit guides, ancestors, family members who have passed, dragons, mermaids, fairies, like, whatever you feel pulled to energetically. There's been different times throughout my spiritual practice where I'm like, oh, I'm super interested in like archangels, or I'm super interested in fairies, or whatever it is on any given time. There's like something draws me to it. And then I find, oh, I needed, I'm just using this as an example because it's an easy one. Archangel Michael is protection. Like, oh, I needed a little extra protection. So I'll visualize blue around me. And that's Michael. Like, that's the easiest way to do it. Or I want to be a little more whimsical or like fanciful in my practice. That's fairy energy. I am looking for, there's different, also even going back to like what I was talking about with like ancestors and family members, it's like, oh, I know that Uncle Pete was brilliant at logic and organizing, and I'm looking to be more organized in my life. So utilizing the strengths of people or spirits in your team, or that you find yourself drawn to or interested in, helps you to better protect yourself energetically as well, because you're utilizing those strengths for those to become your strengths as well.
That's great.
That is fun.
Yeah.
I just started, and I'm back and forth on it. I've talked about it on the podcast a little bit, but I haven't fully jumped into it yet. I just started a little bit of an ancestor veneration practice.
Cool.
Mostly of grandparents and great grandparents. So I just printed out a bunch of their. I have like an instant printer over here. Printed out little photos of them when they were like at their best, and I have a little box over there that I one of my grandparents did I think it was, I just learned about it. I think it's called Spiritism, but in Cuba. So he was like a hands healer person, whatever their brand of that was. Never got to meet the guy, but I have a picture of him over here. And as I'm going into my Reiki practice, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to like light a candle and have a quick conversation. Just be like, dude, can you help me out a little bit? Like, let's do this,
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited to do that. I haven't done it yet though.
That's actually like exactly what I'm talking about. Like what you just described is like, that's it. That's literally it. And it doesn't, like I was saying before, it doesn't need to be anything like crazy or over the top. Literally just having the picture or visualizing them. And also something that you mentioned about never having met him. It doesn't necessarily matter if you knew each other on this plane of existence. our ancestors look out for us regardless. So they have a presence in spirit to kind of look over us and help guide us in the right direction. So, and especially like when you feel connected to someone who you share that experience with, like you're both healers, it just makes sense. Like it makes good sense for you to connect directly with someone like that.
Yeah. Although I have been warned that sometimes some ancestors could overstep a bit, but I don't know. Yeah.
They've got their own opinions.
I feel like it comes from a good place. Like, and it's just like any family member, right? Where it's like, they want to give you advice, but it's kind of like either not applicable or it's not modern. Where it's like, like, oh, maybe you should try this practice. And then you have to be like, sir, like, this is 2025. Like, we can't do that. Like what you did, like back in, I don't know, the 20s, 40s, 50s, whatever, like, we don't do that anymore.
Listen,
it doesn't work anymore.
I will not use leeches to cure that disease.
Exactly.
I don't care what you say. We don't do that anymore.
We can't find any.
I don't know where the leeches are anymore. Leeches were a big problem. That's funny.
Oh my God. What a delightful conversation.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Can you give everybody your plugs? Tell them where to find you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So you can check me out on Instagram. It's at Psychic Medium Erin Lee. I'm also on Facebook. Same thing, Psychic Medium Erin Lee. Or you can even text me directly. That's totally fine with me as well. It's 954-274-5477. I love making new acquaintances, and it was such a joy spending time with you guys and getting to know you and your family.
Same.
Right. Erin, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Marian. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Visit clairvoyaging.com for merchandise or to access free resources to help you on your spiritual journey. Subscribe to our Patreon for more content or join for free to chat with us. Clairvoyaging is a fiscally sponsored project of Fractured Atlas, a 501c3 charity. Make a tax-deductible donation to support our mission to foster understanding, respect, and curiosity for diverse spiritual belief systems. Clairvoyaging is a production of Wayfeather Media.